Wolves 0, Bournemouth 1. Not an afternoon to remember for Wolves. A really disappointing game. And results haven't really gone our way either, to be honest. I was hoping that we would go into this game. Lots of optimism after the last couple of weeks of good results. Results tended to go our way last week, but it wasn't great from Wolves. Possibly one of the poorest Lopetegui displays so far, unfortunately. But we saw, obviously, with Lemina suspended, we saw Martino, Nunes and Neves play as a midfield free today, and Adama Traore came in as a winger with Cunha and Sarabia as the front three. And Wolves pretty much had a lot of the ball in the first half. We looked pretty dominant. We created a couple of half opportunities, a lot of corners. Unfortunately, we didn't really make the most of those. I think we had probably 6 or 7 corners in the first half alone. We had decent spells of play, but you could sort of tell from minute one, really, Bournemouth were trying to buy time, taking their time with goal kicks, throw-ins. Not too sure whether that was an organisation thing or just trying to frustrate Wolves. But you knew what they came to do. They just tried to come to Molineux today and get something. Obviously, for them, it's a big result because they've come and got all 3 points. But first half was okay. A little bit disappointed, you know, with sort of our lack of end product. It was almost as if we've sort of gone 2 steps back again in regards to putting the balls in the right areas and putting the chances, especially after we'd scored 5 goals in the last 2 games. Second half came along and we couldn't get off to a worse start. Bournemouth sort of almost scored out of nothing. We had a chance the other end right before their goal, and I think we should have done better with. I think Martino had the ball in an open area. For me, he's just got to try, test the goalkeeper, test Neto in goal for Bournemouth. In the end, he lays it off back and we lose possession, and that's when Bournemouth go up the other end and score the goal. That was just the thing for me. The final ball was just not there today. Whether that was a shooting at the right time or passing it into the right sort of areas, it just wasn't there, full stop. And Bournemouth, to be fair to them, I thought rest of that second half they were going to sit back. And yes, they frustrated us. I was disappointed with the lack of control from the referee. I don't think he's a referee with huge amounts of Premier League experience. I think his name is Michael Salisbury. I'm baffled at the amount of times a referee and a linesman cannot make a decision amongst themselves. The amount of times where it took them 5 or 10 seconds to decide which way the throw-in or the free kick was going. So I was disappointed with that. But to be fair to Bournemouth, they didn't just sit back. They still tried to get at Wolves a little bit more. They knocked the ball around quite quickly. It wasn't tidy, it wasn't pretty stuff from them at times, but they were simply better than Wolves, and they came with a game plan, executed it to perfection, and got all 3 points, whereas Wolves were just all over the place. We made the changes. We saw Costa come on. We saw Pedente, Nori come on. I thought Adama was a bright spot today. Possibly, as weird as it sounds, possibly there wasn't a game that was written for Adama, just with how Bournemouth tended to sit at times a little bit deeper, but he just seemed to be the only thing and the only player that could make something happen. I thought Neves made things tick again today. Little bit disappointed with the impact of the substitutions. I thought Pedence wasn't quite at it. There was a chance towards the end where he probably should have released it a little bit earlier. Sarabia, I didn't think had a fantastic game. Cunha is a difficult one as well. I'm sure we'll get comments about Cunha. I've already had a tweet about him. Definitely a good footballer. Definitely a player I can see playing central, but he's not your main striker. He's not going to score you goals. So I think we almost, in games like that today, possibly even start with a 4-2-3-1. Have Cunha or Sarabia behind another striker. I think the key for Wolves is not to dwell too much on today. Try and get 3 points against Fulham, and we'll be back in a fantastic position. I say fantastic, a better position than what we are now. So we can't dwell on it too much. Disappointing result, obviously. Disappointing performance. But yeah, Wolves 0, Bournemouth 1. I'll try and enjoy the rest of my birthday celebrations. You know what they say though, bad result, good night out. Be sure to hit the like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts on today's game, and I'll see you next time.